Hey, I'm Danny from Boss, and I'm here today to talk to you about the Eurus GS-1, our newest Boss electronic guitar. Now you might be asking yourself, Boss guitars, what? We actually have a very long history of guitars that we've had in our lineup. If you go back to the Roland guitars from back in the day, you have the GS-500, which actually was recently just used on the Mandalorian soundtrack, which is very cool. You got the G303 and G202 that interfaced with our GR300 guitar synth. And then you have the favorite of mine, the G707 and the GR700, which is a very cool guitar synth. We've also had collaborations with Fender and Strandberg. So we've always had kind of a guitar in the Boss lineup, but this is kind of the first time we've had a Boss branded guitar, and it kind of marks something special for us. So what's with the name? Eurus. Eurus is the god of the eastern wind, and as you may or may not know, Japan is known as the land of the rising sun. So it works. It makes sense. This guitar is a beautiful playing instrument, and first and foremost, it's a guitar. It has guitar pickups, guitar switches, guitar neck. It's every bit of a normal guitar on the outside. It's not going to hinder your playing. You don't have to learn how to play it differently. The guitar itself is a very high quality one. It's Japanese made. It's very lightweight considering the electronics in it, and it's just a dream to play. One of the things that we set out for when we were making this guitar is that Boss has always been known for making our products as dynamic as possible. Even when you go back to our original overdrive pedals, we were always trying to preserve the playing dynamics of your guitar. So we came out with the SY series pedals, which was the SY1, the SY300, and the SY1000. Those all had that same goal in mind, where it was guitar synthesis, but you didn't have to augment the way you played. So the GS1 here has that same technology built in, and it also has a beautiful, excellent playing guitar combined with it. So again, you're not getting a guitar with a amazing electronics but a subpar playing experience. This is just a beauty to play. You don't have to adjust the way you play, and it's a great feeling playing guitar. So what makes it good in playing guitar? Well, first of all, it's got a wonderful compound radius fretboard, 12-inch to 16-inch radius. So if you don't know what that means it's rounder at this part of the fretboard and flatter as it goes up. So for chords, generally a rounder fretboard radius is better. For solos and lead playing, it's better to have a flatter radius, generally. But it makes for a really boutique experience, and it just makes the guitar play awesome. The guitar also features locking Godot machine heads and a beautiful Godot tremolo. These two combined give you a really awesome tremolo experience, but also the tuning stability that you need when you're playing guitar professionally. The guitar features Eurus custom humbuckers, which are kind of a medium output Alnico 5 pickup, not too overwound from a vintage style PAF style pickup, but something that's kind of in the middle of the road that's going to give you a really wide variety of tones available and also sound great split. So the guitar features a master volume control and a master tone control, as well as a 5-way selector switch. Then you get into the synthesizer bits. On the lower bout, you have a 6-position preset switch for your internal synth sounds, as well as a assignable control knob that can be used for a variety of functions within the synthesizer engine. You've got a switch that takes off and on the synthesizer sound, and you have an individual output for the synthesizer pickup as well, which is handy if you want to send the signal from the synthesizer to a different type of processing, like the second input on a GT1000 or directly to a front of house. That way you can keep your tones separate and have different processing for each. So let's have a listen to the guitar. get a different tone going on here. Okay, let's get into the synth sounds. So, like I said, this guitar is using a version of our SY technology, so you have quite a few different synth and variation sounds available to you. Don't always look at them as a replacement for a keyboard player in the band. May I suggest looking at them as an additional texture as a guitar player you're given. You're never going to be able to completely recreate classic synth sounds of the past, but you're going to be able to get pretty darn close. But really, expand from that mindset and look at it as another texture that you have a guitar-like input device to add to your guitar playing. So let's turn this synth on. So you notice that I'm not changing the way I play. I'm not bending any less than I normally would. I'm not muting the strings so you don't get any ring back. It's all playing like a guitar should. Now, if we go to the app, now we can adjust what type of sound we have going on. You have the ability to add in direct level. Get a little guitar going there. So immediately adding to the textures, I'm adding to the flavors that are possible with your guitar. Here's just dry. Here's just synth. And here's a little bit of column A and a little bit of column B. So there's a ton of stuff you can do in the app. There's 6 presets that you have on the guitar, and you can save more presets in the app. So there are tons of sounds in this guitar available to you. Let's take a look at some of those in the app. So you have the editor here. You have your types of synthesizer. What's the mood that I feel like? I think I want to look into the dual oscillator type. Now you also have variations on this. So you have Fat Rezo, Game Dual. I think I'm feeling the wide dual lead. So let's hit that. Go back. You can adjust the tone here. Pretty cool. Let's check out some bass sounds. So I don't know about you guys, but I like to use a lot of synthesized bass. I like to use a lot of bass pickups and pedals because I like to simulate a bass when I use my looping stuff. So this is pretty cool to have this right attached to my guitar, is to have any bass sound I want. Just it's pretty hard not to move your mouth when you do that. Pretty cool. So what I particularly like to do is I like to blend in some normal guitar in with this type of sound. So I might take the resonance down, maybe make it a little meaner sounding. So I got that, and then I'll blend in the direct level. And then I will get some distortion happening. Oh, that's awesome. So you can even hear that when I play sloppy, there's no glitch tracking or anything like that. It's responding as if a sloppy player was playing a standard electric guitar, which I'm very familiar with. So another great feature of the GS1 is the compatibility with our new EV1WL. This is a wireless expression pedal that connects via Bluetooth to the GS1 and gives you more functions that you can control when you're using the guitar. The cool thing about the EV1WL is that it has a standard treadle, and then it also has a foot switch in the toe position, so you can access a second treadled position via there, and then you also have the ability to plug in a foot switch into the side. So I take this, plug it into there, and now I have the EV1 controlling something there, something when I click down the foot switch and treadle, and then I also have some functions that I can add on these two foot switches here. So let's take a look at what the EV1WL can do for the GS1. If I go into the app here and go to control, you'll see a multitude of different functions that we can control remotely. The first one here, synth control, that's your knob on the guitar that's assignable. If you go into the EXP off, that means whenever the toe switch is in the off position on the EV1L, that's being controlled. So in this particular case, let's go to here and I want it to be tone. If I go to EXP on, let's try pitch. So that's when you've pressed down on the pedal, it will lock into pitch mode. Then control 1 and control 2 you can set to be a sample hold type of thing, or quickly shift the pitch up and down via just one button press. So let's go into the arrows here and we'll adjust. Let's say this one goes pitch down. Oh, there we go. Go 12 for an octave down. Pitch time 5. Actually, let's go a little slow. Let's go slower. Then for the toe switch on position, let's go pitch up. We're there. Cool. So now on this bass sound, I have tone, cool. If I click down the switch, now it's pitch. Now that's fun. Cool. Now on the FS7, if I hit the button, and then the second function here on the FS7, I hold it. There you go. So you got a hold and a pitch on a foot switch, as well as what the EV1WL will do. Let's dial in a few more sounds. If I want a pad sound, I'll go into type, go to pad. Now, don't alarm yourself if you see that tone going up and down without me moving my hands. That's because I've got the EV1WL down below at my feet. Now, pads really benefit from the EV1WL or some sort of assignment to the control knob. That way you can really get a good sweep. Now, let's add some delay on there. Oh, yeah. Let's check out another sound. How about some organ? Let's try fast. So you can see that The tracking is fast, it reacts like a guitar, and it's just fun. How about another? Type. Let's go string sound. Whoa. Cool. So that's the GS-1 electronic guitar. At its core, it's a world-class Japanese-made electric guitar with fantastic electric guitar sounds. Then you have a wonderful synthesizer engine built into it that sounds good, plays good, and most importantly, it inspires. Even if you use the synthesizer sounds maybe 1% of the time you pick up this guitar, it's something that's there for you when you want to add a different texture, a different timbre, if you want to scare your bandmates. Those kind of moments are special and fleeting, so it's always good to have some sort of crazy, cool sound at your fingertips that's a little bit different than a normal standard guitar. So that's the GS-1. Thanks for watching and have a great day.